There, I'm Christine Dunbar from SpeechModification.com, and this is my Smart American Accent training. Welcome to our Word of the Day series, where I've been taking your requests for words which you would like help to pronounce correctly in American English. Today, the request was for the word we're, as in we are, the contraction we're. That's this here. And what I want to do is talk about that word, and while we're at it, I also want to talk about the words were, where, where, wire, wire, war, and war. So you'll see there's a theme here. Obviously, we have words that start with the W sound, and then they have a version of the R sound at the end. We'll look at what these words, mostly not a little bit what they mean. We'll practice them in sentences, but we'll learn to categorize these words based on the R sounds, which ones are the same, which ones are different, and what you're hearing when you're listening to these words. We'll also look at accent error patterns to watch out for, because oftentimes the spelling might be misleading and make me saying the incorrect sounds in the word. Firstly, the word we're is what we use when we're saying we are, and usually when we're saying we are something else. So for example, we might say it for we're happy, we're sad. Especially we're going to use that contraction if I'm using another verb. We're going to go, we're having fun. We often reduce that word are into the contraction we're. And it sounds, so the accent error pattern to watch out for is that you want to make sure you don't have any ah sound there. I often hear people trying to say we're, and they are just saying we are very fast instead of changing it to the sounds of we're. So in the IPA, you'll see that there's an E vowel, and I actually like to write it like the word ear, so that I can think about we're ear. When I see this one, I have no doubt about how to pronounce it, that it's got that E, tense E sound, ear. And that's a good way to build the word we're as well, starting on E, ear, and then adding your W, ear, we're. Typically, words that have an R sound, the R is going to control the rest of the word. I really need to be in that tight back R position to even before I start the other sounds. And especially when there's a W and an R, I want to make sure I'm making the R sound with my tongue and not my lips. You want to be careful that the W rounding of the lips doesn't affect my that I need to end up on. Ear, we're. My tongue needs to be ready. Okay, so we're, I would say, falls into the ear category. Then let's look at were, which may be confusing because it also has the letter E. That one is the same pronunciation as this word whir, which means to whirl around and whirl. And so it has the sound. So again, to build whir, I would just say whir. Same strategy as with ear. So we have an ear vowel, we have an vowel. Then these two words, where, as in where are you, and where, I'm wearing a fleece, have the same pronunciation. They're both air diphthongs, and so I have the tense A into my air, where. Then when we go to, and this where as well, less common use, but you hear it in words like warehouse or wares, meaning goods, hardware, software, also an air sound. So all three of these, three different meanings, three different spellings, same pronunciation, all have the air diphthong. And then going back to wire, here we have the I diphthong into the R. Ire, that looks a little like air, so I would write that with IRE. We have other words like tire, fire, etc. That go along with wire. And this one, wire, is what we would use as a reduction. So again, it's not a contraction that we write. We would write Y R, but so this one has the meaning of YR, but we again, like we did here with we're, we don't want to say it just with the R sound. In connected speech, Americans will say, why are you doing that? Why are you going? they reduce the R just into an So we have, again, we end up with the ire diphthong, wire. Why are we talking about this so long, Christine? Okay, so these two are fairly similar. Then we have wore, as in I wore some clothes, and war, there is unfortunately a war going on in the Middle East right now. And so these have the same pronunciation, and they both have the or diphthong. So in this case, it's spelled with OR, and in this case, it's spelled with AR, but it still has the OR sound. So to review, we have we're going, were, we were happy about it, where are you going, where, I'm going to wear some clothes, where, there's goods and wares in the warehouse, I have some hardware and software, wire, there's a wire connection, wire, why are you comparing those two words? Because they sound the same. Wore, we wore clothes, wore, I would like it if we could end war. Okay, so the request was just for we're, but I wanted to take advantage of the opportunity to show you the way that the spelling and the sounds work for all of those words. I think many times people have difficulty when there are similar words, and knowing which ones do have the same pronunciation and which ones don't tends to be helpful. So thank you so much for the request for that word. And as I said in the beginning, if you have a request you'd like to see me cover in this series, feel free to put it in the comments of this video or any of my videos. I'll be back again tomorrow with another word of the day, and on Friday with our free question and answer class. On Sunday, we'll have our members only question and answer class, as well as our open to everyone phrase of the week class. If you have any questions about American accent training, online courses, or other resources, do feel free to leave me a comment, and I'll direct you to where you can find that information on speechmodification.com. Thanks so much, everyone, for those of you who've subscribed to the channel and joined as members. I really appreciate your support. I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com. Remember, if you want to sound American, you can do it. speechmodification.com. Bye, guys. See you tomorrow.